Okay, so it got a little cloudy, and I don't feel like beekeeping when it gets cloudy because I'm not in the mood for it. So this is a triple-decker 5-frame nuke, or or a small colony that started off as a nuke, and I won't go into it, but basically I built them up, and now they're three mediums, and that is a jar of honey they've been eating. Here's the new jar of honey. Here's the old jar. Just take it out of the hole, and this is a nice custom cut hole that fits this jar lid perfectly, this mason jar. And it makes me wonder why most inner cover holes aren't that size, but anyway, because that would make too much sense. It'd be too convenient, I guess. So there they go. I'm just going to shake those guys off, or those girls off. So I can unscrew this. And I'm going to put it back on this, on the new jar of honey. Like so. Oop. You can see all the propolis this is all propolized. Anyway, I'm going to, you can see the honey's already leaking out a bit. And there you go. They've got some honey. And then I'm going to put this cover back on. This is just an empty 5-frame deep box. And I'm just using it to cover up the jar. And this is just the cover of a 5-frame box I'm putting it on top. I gave them, it's a long story, but they started off as 3 frames of brood. And I haven't checked on the queen since then, but I assume she's alive. And that's the next thing I want to do, is check on that queen, make sure she's alive, give her a little mark, dab her with a bit of paint so I can spot her easily. And this is the queen cage that she was in. This was this here portion of the cage was full of candy, or it was fondant. And I just put this between 2 frames, and they let her go after a few days after they ate through the candy. And anyway, I hope it's working out. And this is my first time building up a nuke in a 5-frame medium box. And I'm just stacking the 5-frame medium boxes. And I don't use deeps anymore. I hate them, can't stand them. Once you've made the switch to mediums, you'll know why. It's just so much easier. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. And so I'm giving them the honey instead of syrup, because I have an abundance of honey. And I'll see what that does, see if it makes any difference. If they take that honey like they would nectar, or if they do something different with it, or if it's worse or better, I don't know. We're going to find out. But either way, I think they're fine. They've got at least 5 frames of capped brood that are ready to blow, 4 or 5 frames anyway. So that will be the winter bees, the bees that will live a long time over the winter. That's what I'm focused on with my bees right now, is I want those queens to lay as much as possible going into the winter and produce winter bees, which are the bees that live throughout the winter and then into the spring, and then they start raising baby bees in the spring. And there's a whole thing about that. But anyway, that's what I'm doing. I've had plenty of colonies over the years just shut down completely by September, mid-September, October, early October, just not a sign of brood anywhere. And they go into the winter with small clusters, and you're thinking they're dead, they ain't gonna make it. But the first sign of natural pollen and nectar in the spring, not syrup or pollen patties, but natural pollen and natural nectar, just jump starts that queen, and that little tiny cluster will just expand so fast that I can hardly keep up with them. It's just, they have a tendency to swarm really fast. There's a specific genetic strain of bees that will behave that way, and then there's another genetic strain that will more or less do the opposite. What are these bees bringing in? Not a lot of, it's a little bit of pollen coming in, but it's a light colored pollen. It's not yellow, it's not goldenrod. Though I smell goldenrod. I smell something. Let's see if these ones are bringing in goldenrod. I don't see any goldenrod either. Oh, they're bringing in, you can see the yellow pollen on their legs. Yeah, so they're goldenrod. These ones, the yellow, the dark stuff, or the light colored stuff, I don't know what that is. Oh, look at that. You can see can you see the fuzz on that, the underside of that bee? Wow. That was all goldenrod. You can even see the goldenrod on the thorax, the fuzzy thorax of that bee right there. And there goes another bee with some goldenrod. And I was going to do some, I wanted to dig into this hive and find that queen and mark that queen, and I wanted to do it with another hive, but it's just too cloudy and it's getting humid too, which is sort of a weird combination of conditions that can really make the bees difficult to be around. So I don't need to play with fire today. I've done that before. I don't need to do it again. So that's it.